It's time. I knew this video was going to be a thing ever since I saw the trailer. And I'm glad after so long we finally have another good Spider-Man show. Because the last two entries were straight garbage. I've been praying for days like these. And it's crazy that I even say that because I'm the biggest Spider-Man mute writer you'll ever meet. I don't care who you tell. But things have been looking pretty bleak since Spectacular Spider-Man. Rest in peace, you beautiful child. And when this show was announced, I had faith in it. I knew that it would probably, maybe end up being a good show. And then I saw the first 2 episodes and I was in, dude. But now I'm going to talk about all 10 episodes because I think they're truly amazing. Don't leave. I apologize. But strap in because this is going to be a pretty long video, which means you won't see this beautiful face majority of the video. If you hear this weird clicking thing throughout the video, I'm sorry, I think something's wrong with my microphone. And if you hear snoring or it sounds echoey or I sound tired, it is because I'm filming this in a hotel room at 12 o'clock in the morning. Point is, I need sleep and a higher production value. Let's get on with the video. So the series starts off and we get introduced to the slightly above average Spider-Man. This opening is good for many reasons. It introduces us to this world, these characters, and I liked the twist in the beginning where you think it's like his Spider-Man suit, but it's just a sandwich in his bag. And they finally acknowledge Uncle Ben, which is way more than the MCU is ever willing to do. And right when things seem normal, Doctor Strange shows up out of nowhere. And Peter's reaction kind of shows that he doesn't know who Doctor Strange is.
Oh my gosh, some kind of magical wizard guy?
Which is interesting, and it comes back later, so pay attention. But Doctor Strange kind of messes up this whole school, you know, probably kills like 50 kids in the process, and the spider gets out of the portal and bites Peter. Now at first I thought this intro was doing way too much because like the spider comes out of a portal, which has only been a thing in the Spider-Verse movies, and that had plot relevance?
Nigga, what?
Relevance. So I was wondering why they made it so overly complicated in this one. But after all that happens, Doctor Strange beats up this venom looking thing, Peter gets bit by the spider, and then he meets Nico.
Who?
And I still think this opening is very cool. I mean, Peter's first villain was a spider. Look at him.
Try!
So as I stated previously, the theme song is good, it's very catchy, I like it. But after that, you know, he gets adjusted to being Spider-Man, and we learn that he has a crush on this girl named Pearl.
Who? So when my aunt and uncle would go out, they'd ask Pearl to keep me company. You know, hang out, make sure I ate dinner and didn't stay up too late.
Pete, was she your babysitter?
No, I was, like 11 and a half and she was 14. We were just hanging out.
Did they pay her?
Yes, they paid her.
Bro, you had a babysitter till you were 11 and a half? You get bullied for a reason, Peter.
Nico, come on! I finally worked up the nerve.
Yeah, about that. Sorry, Pete. Someone beat you to it.
Dang. It's okay. Sometimes you get rejected, Peter. I can relate. But she didn't leave me for a bigger, blacker man, so go suck a dick! I was kind of expecting this guy to be like the bully, but he is like the chillest dude ever. He is so nice to everybody.
I still can't believe Pearl's dating Lonnie Lincoln.
Wait, Lonnie Lincoln? Uh-oh. Let's just remember a time where I said he was nice. Lonnie goes home and he lives in a crappy neighborhood. He's being racially profiled, but he's still a good kid at heart. For now. Peter stops this woman and brings her back to the place that she robbed. And I'm just going to play the clip for you guys because this clip is so good. This is Spider-Man.
Mr. Pizza Guy, sir, I mean, it's ultimately up to you, but she was just down on her luck. I don't know. Maybe let her go just this once?
Peak cinema. Ultimate Spider-Man wishes. Peter's eating pizza by a dumpster like a freaking loser. And then when he goes home, it's like a shot-for-shot remake of Civil War. But that's not Tony Stark to greet him. That's Norman Osborn, the Black Goblin. 10 out of 10. Next episode. Episode 2 is kind of boring. Like, it's not bad. I liked it, and I have stuff to say about it. It's just, I don't like rewatching this one. Episode 2 starts where episode 1 ended, and this dude, Norman, even the normal things he says, he just sounds evil.
Not a competition, but yes, I'd say I'm up there.
Like, this is definitely a dude that pours his milk before his cereal. And for those of you who know that kind of person, if you cut them off like you're supposed to, I just gave you Vietnam flashbacks and I do not regret it. But Peter goes to school and Lonnie again just shows him how nice he is. Gee, I hope nothing changes between these two. But another thing that's highlighted in this episode that I like a lot is Peter and Nico are just friends. I like that they didn't push a forced romantic subplot between them. They're just friends in this show. But Peter shows up to Oscorp and this is when the episode becomes a giant snooze-a-thon. Peter meets this girl, this guy, who is also the Hulk, And then he meets his teacher, and it's crazy. They literally have the Hulk in their class, but this guy is the biggest crash out. But stuff happens, and then Peter is watching the news and sees that a building is burning down.
Really like fire? Love watching it, burn.
Spider-Man goes to save the day, lands, and sees...
Who the fuck is this nigga, bro?
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea who this guy is, but I can't even focus on that because look at Peter. This is a very fruity Spider-Man, ladies and gentlemen. And that's not a problem, I just thought that being fruity was like Sonic's thing, not Spider-Man. And I just think it's so funny that this guy who was scared of the show being woke is portraying the fruitiest Spider-Man I have ever seen in my entire life. But this guy's burning down the wrong building and they end up in a pet shop where they fight, Peter beats him, and then he sees an 8 on his clothing. Or his suit. 8, huh? But Peter gets back to Oscorp and Norman wants him in his office. Lil bro got fired on his first day, my gosh. He walks in and Norman pulls this.
You're Spider-Man.
No.
6 out of 10. Now episode 3 gets back on track. I like this episode a lot. After Norman Osborn finds out that Peter Parker is indeed Spoodermalang, he goes to Nico's house and kind of freaks out because he doesn't even like Norman Osborn knowing. And the Black Goblin knowing rings in his head so much that when he has to go have dinner with him, he's kind of nervous. While they're having dinner, Norman explains why he enlisted Peter and all these young geniuses in the first place, and it's so that he could find who was working with Spider-Man, until he found out that Peter Porker is Spider-Man. And it's just so crazy that every single line out of this man's mouth is evil. Even if he doesn't intend it to be, it sounds evil.
That boy you saved is my son, Harry. From that day, I vowed I would find Spider-Man and repay him for saving Harry's life.
But Peter being Peter, he's responsible and he quits because he doesn't want anyone getting hurt or anyone really knowing. He needs to do this by himself. And he still gets paid for it, which is crazy. This guy's making big bucks. And after all that happened, we meet these two idiots.
I don't know, James. Maybe several $1,000s? Dios mío, why the cute one's always so dumb?
Oh, snap. She's a Latina?
Oh my god.
Let me take her off your hands, Justin Bieber. I'll show her a real man. You're a dude? You ever consider killing yourself?
I've been praying for this day.
This guy. Can you find a better place to be?
Can you find your parents?
You little... Anyway, I do like that between all the Peter stuff, they keep cutting back to Lonnie, and Lonnie is just so nice, but then he finds out his brother is in a gang. We had such a good thing going. But Peter's out in the streets of Zoo York fighting these bums, and they got some tech on them.
You guys are totally like couple goals. What dating app did you meet on? Burglar?
Yep, that sounds like a Spider-Man joke. But Peter gets some help from Norman, and he defeats the bad guys.
Welcome to the team, Mr. Osborn.
Yo, let's get it. Norman's on Team Spider-Man. I mean, he's definitely a diversity hire, but whatever. And while all this is happening, Lonnie goes to get his brother, but because he's being a little freaking turd, he decides to trade himself for his brother. So now, Lonnie's in a gang.
Oh shit.
Good episode, 8 out of 10. Episode 4 is alright. It's not bad, but it's not my favorite either, so I don't have a ton of things to say about it. At the beginning of this episode, Peter meets Harry, like, officially, not as Spider-Man. And when Peter walks into Norman's office, Norman shows him footage of the Avengers fighting each other and the fact that the Sokovia Accords are a thing right now. That means that Civil War is happening right now, and I pray it's not as trash as the movie. That film made me contemplate whether life in prison is worth it or not. And while all that is happening, Lonnie's out here with the Riz.
Incredible.
Norman decides that Peter cannot be walking around in these pajamas anymore and decides to get him a new suit.
Now, I think
Try it!
Get...
Try it!
No, I'm not scary. I'm your friendly neighborhood flying spider.
Try it!
Dude, a little girl just screamed at his black suit.
Nah.
That's gotta be racist. There's no way.
Boy, cut back to Lonnie's gang, and Big Don over here is telling him about the Scorpion. At least someone is going to use the Scorpion. And after that, Norman finally gives Peter a closer looking Spider-Man suit. I don't really know how I'm feeling about the white supremacist Spider-Man suit, but besides him looking like a Klansman, it's not terrible. And we get a scene of just what I love in these superhero movies or shows, is the superhero saving people.
You're clear. Get to the side of the road.
I am soaking wet right now.
But while Spider-Man is saving people, there's a group of these idiots, and one of them is the Chameleon, but the rest of them, I do not care. I will not ever care, then go die. But this girl jumps out of the car, takes the money, and brings it to some random dude.
Ms. Mazurek, how can I help you this evening?
It's Alfred Molina. 7 out of 10. Now, episode 5 is kind of fire. It's weird because this episode has the worst villain by far, but the story is progressing in such an interesting way. It features the unicorn as this episode's villain.
Who?
I don't even know, bro. And I think what I've noticed is that Lonnie's subplot is becoming my favorite because this man's story arc is actually so peak. It's way better than Peter's. Peter's story arc over the season is basically, I have to learn how to manage on my own without someone helping me. I haven't seen that anywhere else. God forbid you do things on your own. Back in my day, Spider-Man didn't need help. It didn't take him 3 movies to gain his spider sense, and he didn't get taken out by a knife. I am so sorry you had to see that. It's just a little frustrating. I love this dude, but I also kind of hate him sometimes. Anyway, I think I should actually start talking about the episode. So the episode starts off with this chick talking to Dr. Octopus.
Speaking of which, I'm surprised to see you've come along.
But this girl's talking to Dr. Octopus, and they start talking about the weapons he's gonna sell them, and he sells her a helmet that has like lasers on it.
Lasers? That I understand.
Yo, Jack said the same thing one time. It did not end well. But he gives her the helmet and reveals that he thinks all this is beneath him, which is very Otto Octavius-like. And while he's cooking up world domination or whatever, we cut to Peter and Harry. And I forgot to mention the last episode ended with Harry finding out that Peter is Spider-Man. I'm all for doing something new, but it feels a little weird that this is where their friendship starts. But I will give them a pass because they actually handled it very well. But Norman wants Harry on Team Spider-Man, and Peter's not really with that idea. Bro, please give me a good Harry. He's always either a dick or a nerd, no in between. Season 1 was a good reference, let's keep it that way, because if they make him a hater or an incel, I'm finding their families. Peter tells Nico about this, which is kind of negative, and honestly, her not liking Norman or Harry, I'm starting to think she just doesn't like black people.
Nobody gets as scary rich as that guy without doing some shady stuff along the way.
Oh, she doesn't like rich black people. That's even more racist. She's saying keep them broke. It feels like we cannot escape Spider-Man properties or at least one person hates black people. But after this, we cut to Lonnie and his coach talking.
What in the name of Rockford T. Bales is going on with you, Lincoln?
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
I love this scene because the coach is being so nice, but you can see Lonnie being very passive-aggressive with the things that he's saying.
There isn't a guy on this team that's more dedicated toward this than I am.
If you are making a statement and also balling up your fists at the same time, you are destined to become a crasher just like the rest of these idiots. But his coach tells him he has to get his stuff together, and when he gets out, yet again, he is rizzing.
It's not much to talk about, but what I would like to do is walk you to class.
After we see Lonnie and Pearl talking, it cuts to Peter and Nico, and they're talking about a show that Peter is gonna book. Bro, stop making plans! Genuinely, the only person on this planet with more empty promises than Spider-Man is Corey Kinchin.
What?
Can you believe bro is in some controversy because people think he's looking at some cheeks? Nah, free my dog, please. But after this, it cuts to Lonnie in the locker room and he's catching up with his old buddies until Big Don calls him.
Nigga, what you want?
And even though he just told his coach that he'll be here from now on, he's got a skedaddle. And while Peter is wearing the seaman suit, he's talking to Harry, while they discuss being a fan of an even bigger racist. And then, the Russian from before breaks this guy, who I thought was Rhino, out of prison, and she starts raining havoc. And Spider-Man shows up, and as usual, he's not taking anything seriously. And while all of this is happening, the 110th Street Gang is gonna have a confrontation with Mac and his guys. His goons, if you will. And this fight between the gangs is crazy because they're actually throwing hands and Lonnie's over here not trying to fight anybody. And honestly, Lonnie is better than me because if you ruin my evening to make me fight my fellow Mexicans, bro, I'm airing out the entire place. The whole establishment is going down in flames because of what you've done. And the fight between Spider-Man and the Unicorn is pretty standard. Peter's getting washed. Pfft, this dude's trash. But the fight over here is crazy and Gargan takes it too far. Bro is pulling out knives.
What's wrong with you?
But Gargan tries to stab Big Don and Lonnie comes in clutch. My dog gets stabbed in the arm and takes it like a champ. But we cut back to Spider-Man and this dude is getting baked yet again. Bro, please fight back. But they do have scenes of him saving people. So you know, it is what it is.
You shouldn't have, but I didn't get you anything. Oh wait, here.
Finally, bro. But Peter saves the day, and in the most crazy plot twist ever, he actually makes it to something he planned. But he also invited Harry, someone that his friend openly hated, so I can't really root for this guy for too long. And when the gang gets back from that fight, they all congratulate Lonnie for saving Big Don.
Yeah. Hell, the way you buried Gargan, we should start calling you Grave Digger.
Nah, we should call you Tombstone.
Tombstone? Yeah, I can't lie. I kind of like it.
9 out of 10. The next episode starts and Lonnie gets kicked off the football team. I really love the subtle ways they're showing that Lonnie is changing. Like after all that risen, he's treating Pearl like she's a side hoe.
Just talk to me. Maybe I can help.
No, you can't. I've always tried so hard to live up to how everyone here sees me. It's a relief not to have to worry about that anymore.
We're losing him. Because Lonnie keeps leaving, Peter has to join a group with Emma and Pearl for the project, and she sounds annoyed that Peter's asking about Lonnie.
Let's just do our lab work, Peter.
Man, shut your bitch ass up.
Why are you talking to him like it's his fault? Nah, see, me personally, Peter, I would never take that amount of disrespect. That's just me though. We're two different people. You're a twink and I'm not. And after this, Lonnie gets home and has an argument with his brother because this freaking dirtbag is not grateful that his brother got him out of a gang. No, he's complaining because yet again he's known as Lonnie's little brother. Like, bro, he's the only reason you're not in a gang.
Yeah, try being a little more grateful.
Yeah, for real. But then Peter's talking with Harry and yet again invites him to hang out with him and Nico. Peter, dog, you cannot force a friendship. Stop trying to make this thing work. But things seem to be on the right track. They're gonna watch a movie that they all agree on, and no, Peter gets a call from Norman. Bro, I would be a horrible Spider-Man. I'm not gonna ruin my life to go play dress up. There's other heroes in the city. Call the Avengers. Screw great power comes great responsibility. It's not like Uncle Ben is alive to reinforce it. Yo, my fault. But someone is breaking into Oscorp and Peter goes to see what's up. My god, it's Mr. Cox himself. Him and Spider-Man start boxing, and of course my main dog, my glorious king, is getting washed by Daredevil. Nah, bro is mad they share a villain. But while these two dinguses are fighting on the roof, it cuts back to Nico and Harry. And things are going well. They have a shared interest until Harry reveals that he does not believe in this stuff. And they start arguing, which leads Nico to tell Harry that Peter tells her everything, which then causes this.
Everything? Even, you know,
No. What?
Peter's secret?
His secret. Yeah, all of them. You'll have to be more specific.
Harry, you freaking sell out. But it cuts back to Spider-Man and Daredevil, and surprise, surprise, Peter loses. But in this fight, Daredevil did say that Norman was hiding something. Could it possibly be that he likes to dress up like a goblin in his free time? Whatever, doesn't matter. Instead, Norman decides to tell Peter about Dr. Octopus. But after listening to all that yap, Peter goes back to his friends.
Hey, the bodega was out of soda, but I got ice.
No soda? Bummer. Are you sure Spider-Man can't get us some, Pete? He's in there, right? Ha ha.
What are you talking about?
Harry was trying to tell me that you're...
Easy cover up. I'm not Spider-Man. I'm a KKK member. Dang. See, me personally, I would kick Harry's teeth in.
Good work.
Mr. Gargan, let me just say, you're gorgeous.
Finally, we get a cool Scorpion. 10 out of 10. Episode 7 gets real. This is my favorite episode. It starts off with Peter trying to apologize to Nico, and him being Peter, it doesn't really work out.
Thanks, Petey. It means a lot.
He's got time for nothing else, but he always has time to be Mr. Steal Your Girl. Never mind, Lonnie's little brother's Mr. Steal Your Girl. But Peter and Norman are discussing what Octavius is using to empower these supervillains.
Gamma radiation.
Heard that stuff is expensive these days. But after all that, Harry picks up Nico and they just kind of talk for a little bit. And basically what I concluded from this is that they're getting together in season 2 and nothing you can say can change my mind. But not everything can be perfect because Pearl finds out that Lonnie's in a gang and goes to confront him. She says that this is not his life and that she wants to get him out of there, but Lonnie's a little too far at this point.
Please, just let us help you.
I don't need your help. Or anyone else's for that matter. I have everything under control.
And then my goat shows up with new drip to match, and he gets to clobbering dudes immediately. And while my dog is out there straight balling, Spider-Man shows up. He's confused when he sees Lonnie and he goes to save Pearl, and I love this little scene right here.
Lady, you and your friend need to run.
But neither guns nor Spider-Man can quite compare to a safe, and that's the one thing that actually gets Gargan down. But he comes back with a vengeance, trying to send Spider-Man 6 feet under. But Spider-Man ties him up, and yo, this look is crazy.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
And Peter thinks he saved the day, but unfortunately that don't work. Got my dog looking like he just hit that Zaw. And because Peter is out of webs, he kind of just has to jump around and avoid this psychopath. But unfortunately, this Spider-Man is just not a part of Weave Nation, so he gets stabbed.
Peter, what just happened?
Mr. Osborn!
I'm getting reports that your suit has been punctured.
This guy, bro, are you going to do something? Oh, but Peter escapes broken and defeated. 10 out of 10, still peak. Now episode 8 is an interesting one because Peter does not suit up as Spider-Man one time. But he's in a cast, Norman's disappointed in him, and he has post-traumatic smoke disorder. This is a sad day, I thought we were up. But the white suit is destroyed, thank God, and he goes to talk with Aunt May and he has this really cool emotional scene. But after this, Otto got caught by the feds and thinks he can escape until the goat pulls up.
You're busted, Bullcut. Iron Man to the rescue.
Oh my god!
And then Peter leaves Nico a voicemail trying to rebuild their friendship before he goes over to Pearl's house. My god, he's being Mr. Steal Your Girl again. If I was Lonnie, I'd be more evil by this point. And speaking of Lonnie, he actually shows up. Pearl tells him that if he doesn't leave the gang, she wants nothing to do with him. And he says this.
I understand. Guess this is goodbye then.
Bro, Lonnie is so him. Lonnie leaves, but Peter tries to go talk to him.
I really think you're making a mistake.
Then it's my mistake to make. I know you might not understand this, but I've had to make a lot of mistakes lately for my family's well-being. So I don't have the luxury of sitting around with Pearl and focusing on science homework like you. Look, I get what you're trying to do, but I gotta do this. So please don't get in my way.
That's called motherfucking bars, nigga! You know nothing about that!
But after that, Peter goes to Norman, and something tells me he's teaching him the wrong lessons.
With great power comes great respect.
But Lonnie and his gang are in an alleyway because Big Don has a lead on where Gargan got the upgrade. But my dog Dimitri pulls up with that mask on.
Inelegant gangsters.
Honestly, that's what I'm saying. But they give him the money and he gives them a small little hint on who this guy is. So things are starting to get crazy and Peter's talking to Harry while all this is happening. But there's an emergency that Spider-Man needs to tend to at the moment.
But I still don't have a suit.
But Harry tells him that he can change that, and we finally get the classic Spider-Man suit. 7 out of 10. I know I just said that episode 7 was my favorite, but episode 9 comes close. Episode 9 does a great job bringing together plot points that were spread across different episodes. And the best part of the episode is towards the end, which means I should probably start talking about the episode. It starts off with... hold on. It starts off with Dr. Otto Octavius in prison, and Norman visits him just to talk crap. This is a different level of hating. But the more interesting stuff is Lonnie and his gang trying to find this tech. And Big Don over here is being reckless, which causes a truck to almost hit Nico. Until the main man shows up.
I'm here, Nico.
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Classic suit looking mighty clean too. Oh yeah, this is what Sauce looks like. Madam Web, take notes. But Peter finds Lonnie and the Scorpion comes back. Nah, the post-traumatic smoke disorder was so much they had to show us his face under the mask. But he ain't having it this time. Even Scorpion knows Spider-Man's all about business today, no jokes. And honestly, that's pretty scary. Spider-Man stopping with the jokes is the equivalent of Batman starting to tell jokes. But after the Scorpion scared Big Don, he ran away, leaving his gang, forcing Tombstone basically to become the new leader. And while Lonnie is in his truck, this thing spills and gives him his superpowers. And when he gets out, he shows that he's about that life. But him and Peter work together in this really cool scene to fight the Scorpion.
I saw it. It was unreal. Are you like a super soldier now or something?
Whatever was in that truck juiced me up, but it...
This freaking guy. You know what? Just kill him at this point.
You're holding yourself back.
Wait, yo.
That's the level I need Spider-Man at. That's the level I need you at.
Yo, I was joking.
Scorpion almost killed you. You know why? Because you held back. And he didn't.
Peter, I was joking.
With great power comes great respect.
Thank God, dude, you don't want to give J. Jonah Jameson more material to work with. And I think it's cool as you have these two characters that one of them is going to be good, one of them is going to be bad, but like the roles are kind of like reversed. But after that, Peter makes up with Nico and says that there will be no more secrets.
Yep. No more secrets.
Oh, come on, what are you hiding? But after that, it cuts to Norman Osborn discussing how they want to use Spider-Man's blood to make more of the spiders. 10 out of 10. Alright guys, we made it. The 10th and final episode of Season 1. And this has truly been a journey. But like every other journey, it has to start wrapping up. So I am proud to tell you that I do not have strong feelings in episode 10. Yeah, I think this finale is a bit lackluster when it comes to the plot of the episode. There is stuff that I like and I will get into that, but the overall episode is just kind of alright. So it starts off with Peter being late for school because of his duties as Spider-Man, which is classic stuff. I actually do like that. And when Peter finally does get to school, he has this freaking rinky-dink project that's saved by the one girl in the group that never takes her eyes off her phone. And after that, he goes to Oscorp and it's revealed that Norman has been using all of their projects. Yes, they were working on projects, I failed to mention it. He used all their projects to make a gateway to outer space. And Peter's understandably a little weirded out that Norman didn't tell him about this. But before Numbnuts gets to open it, Doctor Strange opens a portal in front of it. And then this Venom looking thing comes back. And Peter suits up to help Doctor Strange fight this thing. And these bozos fighting has so many consequences because it leaves a piece of the symbiote on this Earth and it lets the spider out. But the biggest consequence of them all is one of the craziest Spider-Man plot twists I've ever seen in my entire life. Do you remember what I said towards the beginning of this video? If you don't, I'm gonna give you a quick reminder. Which is interesting, and it comes back later, so pay attention. Now, at first I thought this intro was doing way too much because like the spider comes out of a portal. And it's because Peter's origin story is actually part of an endless time loop. You know, I sound like such a nerd saying these things out loud. But anyway, it always goes the same exact way. He gets bitten by the spider and then he helps Doctor Strange fight this thing, which leads to them going back in time and Peter getting bit by the spider. So really, Peter made his own origin story in this show. And even though that was one of the stupidest sentences I will ever say in my life, I cannot deny that this is so cool. And I see people pretty split on it. Some people don't like this, some people do. I think it was a very smart decision and I do like this a lot. Even if it's, again, a little too complicated for Spider-Man, I do think it's really cool. But they beat this thing and Spider-Man asked Doctor Strange if he's seen the future to, you know, let him know if he has anything to be ready for.
But something tells me you're ready.
This show is so good. And the twist endings don't stop there because Lonnie has now accepted his role in this gang life and now he's the leader. He's quickly becoming the Tombstone that we all know. Nico has this necklace that she can talk to her dead mom apparently, and Peter's dad is still alive. This season kind of focused on Scorpion, but I'm excited for season 2 to focus on people like Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, and Tombstone. Overall, not terrible, but just kind of a lackluster finale. 6 out of 10.
After all, I'm Spider-Man.
And that was the entirety of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 1. I love this show, and although it's not as good as Spectacular Spider-Man, nothing ever will be, I still think this show stands really great on its own. The stories are engaging, the characters are likable, the animation is there, and overall, I really like this experience. I highly recommend it to anyone really, and if you've already watched it and you just wanted to hear my thoughts, cool, but if you haven't watched it, please go watch it. You will like it 10 times more than you will ever like this video. It's definitely not perfect. Some episodes are better than others. They're straight up forgettable characters and it has some really janky animation, but I'm hoping all that stuff is fixed in season 2. And I've already seen that they're trying to bring Gwen Stacy into season 2 as Spider-Gwen, and I can't wait to see where that goes. And no, the thumbnail lied to you. I'd overall rate this show like an 8 out of 10. But if we're not being critical about things, 10s across the board. But those are just my thoughts on Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and I will see you guys in the next video.
People don't always have it figured out. So hard and now my dreams are coming true. It took a while, but I'm glad I'm here with you. So you know that dreams come true. Dreams coming true. Dreams coming true.